All right, everybody, welcome into Powwow Yoga. I'm so stoked to be here today. Thank you so much, Katie, for inviting me to share this practice today. So, for anybody that's not familiar, my name is Acacia Red Elk. I'm from the Umatilla tribe here in Pendleton, Oregon, and I am a yoga teacher and a powwow dancer, among many other things. I started teaching yoga about 10 years ago. Well, no, I found the practice of yoga 10 years ago, but it was only 6 months after that I decided to get certified because I was like, oh my gosh, I never knew that this practice was a healing tool that we could literally change our bodies and minds at the cellular level through this practice. This practice also is very familiar and similar to our ceremonies in indigenous communities as well. And it just aligned with everything that I knew that could help me heal and move forward and progress in life and to live a happy, healthy life. I was struggling quite a bit when I found the practice. So when I found yoga, the teacher said, take a deep breath and let it go. And I started crying. So I was like, oh my gosh. My mother had taught me about healing. She had taught me about the power of thought when we were kids. I caught on fire when I was 6 years old and burnt half of my body. And I was so afraid of fire that when I was 11, my mom had the firewalker people come from Hawaii. And I had to walk on fire to be able to overcome my fears. So at a very young age, I had to learn that our mind was so powerful that we could literally overcome and that we could manipulate certain things, and that we could actually walk on something hot with the thought of cold in our mind and completely keep from getting burned. So that's when I knew that the mind was powerful. My mother would teach us about the power of thought and about how powerful each of us was, and that every single one of us is a medicine person. I never really grasped that idea within myself until I started teaching yoga. And coming from a powwow dancing background, just knowing the power and medicine of movement and how that can help us, because powwow dancing also helped me heal. Um, and so when I was in that first class, I was like, oh my gosh, I we have work to do. And I was like, I have to get certified so that I can travel around Indian country and share this. My vision was that I was going to travel all over right away and that all these native people were going to start doing yoga. And it didn't happen that fast, although there was already people doing it. Um, it just wasn't really, people weren't catching on. A lot of natives were like, I feel like I'm appropriating. That's not my religion. And so it took a little while to allow people the freedom to just learn a little bit more about it themselves, and then realize that it's a practice that can be utilized by anybody and that you could also bring your own culture into it. I started adding powwow dancing to it just to make it funner, and some people wanted a little bit more out of their classes. They wanted to add a more fast paced, something to get them really sweating and their heartbeat up. And I thought, oh, well, why not add powwow dance? Because also I had a lot of friends who um, had never powwow danced before, but always wanted to, some of my native friends. I also had a lot of native friends who were powwow dancers and that were just like, no, we don't do yoga. So it was kind of my secret way to get people out of their comfort zone and to try something new. So I came up with Powwow Yoga. And Powwow Yoga is a fusion practice that braids together powwow dancing and yoga. So the idea is to get your heart rate up, to get your stretching in, really get your lungs working, to get your stretching in, to get your balancing in, your grounding, your breath work, and your meditation all in one workout. So it's multidimensional, just as we are. Um, Powwow dancing for Indigenous people is a way for us to tap back into our identity and heal through that drum beat, that heartbeat. Um, our grandmas would say, when we hear the drum, our spirit remembers. And I always kept that with me. And I thought, man, every single person who hears a drum starts to cry, whether they are brown Indigenous or white Indigenous, because you know what? Every single person on earth is Indigenous. They had cultural significance. They had the traditional stories. They had the primal culture. They were connected to their foods. They were connected to the land. They were ceremonial people who had songs and dances and spiritual practices. But along the line of colonialism and egoism and individualism, that was lost. And so, the people who we call white people, when they hear a drum, they'll say, "Oh my gosh, it made me cry." And that's because they felt something deep within that their spirit remembered. So this practice is open to all people. I invite non-Indigenous alike, people who consider themselves non-Indigenous, and then I also give them a chance to say, hey, tap into your Indigenousness when you come into this class, when we're moving through the flows, when we're praying into our body and into the environment, and when we are dancing, because you are Indigenous too. And everybody has the right to be able to tap into that, because what happens is they get a chance to see themselves as not separate, but as in relation to one another. And we need people to be like that instead of being separate. We need people who appreciate our culture. We need people who see the beauty in our culture. And if we invite them into certain things that they can see the art, the beauty, the tradition, the culture of who we are through our songs and our dances and our art forms and our ways, we can teach people so much, but we can also build community. So that's what this is all about. I'm so stoked to be able to be here with you guys today, because I respect each and every one of you for what you're doing, and I admire it. It is so impressive to have such dedication to your practice and to your learning. And that is also a practice of yoga, studies, keeping your head in the books, continuing to learn, constantly learning. And that is a form of yoga. It's a form of meditation. So I'm honored to be here today. We're going to go through 1 hour of Powwow Yoga. I want you to know that this practice can be done from a chair. It can be done from your desk. It can be done hybrid style, half chair, half standing, or it can be done completely full, going into the full, onto the mat. You can use the wall. You can bring a chair into your practice to hold on to at any time. Make sure that if you feel it's necessary, to have your supports nearby. I always say that. Make sure that you are using your supports and resources on and off the yoga mat. Whenever we're going too fast, or you're like, man, I need to take a break. Listen to your body. Anything that we're doing in this class, I will continuously offer cueing for modifications, for change-ups, to how you can make it fit your body and adapt to your body and preference. But if I'm not offering something, I want you to get creative with your body and your practice and make it your own, make it work for you. None of us are going to dance the same. You don't have to have your video on. The steps don't have to be the same. Make it work for you. If it starts getting too fast, step it out. You can always find ways to change it up, and take breaks when you need to. Make sure you have your water nearby. I would take a drink now just to pray into that water. Do a little water prayer if you need to light some smudge. When we pray into our body through our practices of yoga, meditation, working out, we are also praying and healing into our environment around us, because our energy emits so strongly from our bodies. It emits hundreds of miles away from us and affects things around us. So when we feel good in our body and our mind, we are able to emit those energies into everything around us, which is freaking powerful. Like, that is what it's all about. It's about, see, we start with the macro. It's like, I want to look good and feel good in my body, because when we look good and feel good, we do good. That's always the motto in sports. And good, we've got another person entering. We've got an hour and a half, so I'm like, I'll talk a little bit. So I forgot where I was going with that, but we want to look good in our body. So it goes from micro to macro, because once we get into this practice and we realize, oh my gosh, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my friends and the people I spend my time with, the people that are in my environment, the people who are my future generations, because we're passing on that DNA. We're just continuing to pass it on. We're carrying stuff from our past, from our ancestors. We're packing on all of this stuff, all of the things that hurt us, all of the things that happen to our people, and we are a little bit bitter. We're hurting, we're struggling, we're still trying to find our healing. And that's what this practice is about as well, shaking it off, loosening up fascia, because all that stuff, all of those experiences and emotional happenings, they get stuck in time in our tissues and in our fascia. Oh, no worries, Megan. And when that happens, those things stay in that place and time, and those things eventually manifest into pain and disease. So it's important for us to stretch our bodies. It's important for us to have a good range of motion. It's important for us to shake and release and to be free in our bodies, because when we stop being free in our bodies, when we keep packing on the trauma and the emotions, we tend to start closing in on ourselves. And the more and more we close in, the less and less and more we can be free. And when that happens, we get heavy emotionally, physically, and mentally. When we feel heavy physically, we also feel heavy mentally, and we can feel trapped in our bodies. We can feel stagnant. We want the energy to keep moving, and that's what this practice is all about. It's going to make me cry because this stuff is so powerful. And when we move through the practice, you'll notice that this is completely yin and yang. It's contrast, it's balance. We're going to start out by grounding and just arriving at where we are. We're going to ground down. We're going to start stretching our bodies and loosening up our joints and bringing movement into them. And then we're going to start dancing. And when we start dancing, we go through different styles. We usually start with like a men's traditional style, and that's actually how I have my playlist planned out. However, not every song we dance to is a powwow song, which is kind of fun too. So when we go into each style of dance, feel free to freestyle. If you're a powwow dancer, you know how to powwow dance, you don't feel like following the steps, you have the right to take it on a freestyle whenever you want during this class. But I will be leading you through steps. When we're going through men's traditional, embodying that warrior spirit. Our warriors were our protectors. They were the storytellers. They went out and fought battle to protect us, to protect their homelands, to keep their families safe. They went out hunting to provide food for the families. So in our modern day, we don't think about hurting others in a warrior sense. We think about being a protector and a provider. And when you think about being a protector and a provider and protecting yourself, that means being healthy. That means living a healthy and happy life. And then when we go into the other dances, the grass dancer is free flowing. You can make it your own. You could literally just be stepping. But if you really want to get into it, like really get into it. If you've ever seen the powwow dancers dance, they get their shoulders into it, It's up to you how you want to do it. And then once we go into the women's styles, we start lifting off, because men's are grounding. Men's styles ground into the ground. They're absorbing and pressing lower chakras all the way down to your root. And then when we get into the women's styles, we're lifting, even in jingle, we're lifting up on the beat and tapping the feet. So then we start coming up into these top chakras. So we move through the practice from the beginning to the end at the root chakra. We're going through 7 chakras. We're thinking about 7 generations, and each one that we move through correlates to the poses that we're going to be doing, correlates to the dances that we're going to be doing, and will correlate to each chakra that we're moving. Until the end of the class, we're moving through that last chakra. So we're bringing balance to our 7 chakras that are through our spine, because they can tend to get stuck. They can tend to stop spinning fast. They can tend to spin in opposite directions because they come off balance. So as we move through our practice, we have a chance to bring movement back into our chakras, and which will bring balance back into our mental life as well. Yoga builds balance. When we feel balance in our bodies, we feel balanced also in our mind and our life. Yoga creates a flexible body, and we all know that trauma resides in the tension in our body. And so a flexible body holds less trauma. A flexible body also creates a flexible mind. And when you have a flexible mind, you're able to cruise through life easier with more confidence and fluidity. And when we feel balanced and stable, because yoga builds all the muscles that are wrapped around our bones, our stabilizers, Those are the important muscles for making us feel stable. And when we feel stable, we feel rooted. And when you feel rooted, you are ready to face the weather of your life and you can stand strong. And so yoga and builds breath, clearing space. It's like opening the windows and the doors in your house and getting that stagnant, musty air out. And then opening the windows, positive thoughts, good thoughts, conscious breath. Windows open, sun shining through. So it's like building a house, and it's important to be able to have a safe place. Energy will not move forward if it doesn't feel safe. So it's important for us to create safe spaces for us to move forward. Also, healing cannot take place until the poison is exposed. So it's important for us to let go of shit that we've been carrying around, because you know what? We are often carrying around more baggage from others than ourselves. And so just taking this time to be like, I'm just going to shake it off. I'm going to let it go. Whatever is no longer serving me, not in a bitter way, but in a grateful way. Every single experience, whether it was good or bad, had a purpose. There was a ripple effect. There was a reason. There were contracts, mental contracts signed with those people, whether it was good or bad. So just knowing that as we move through, you might cry, you might laugh, let all those feelings flow. You're in the privacy of your own home. And just let it flow. Be here in this moment. Get out of your head and get into your body. Tap into those roots. Tap into your flow. Think about your breath. We're moving through. We're moving blockages. We're removing shit that's in our body, in our air passageways, and mentally and physically. So as we move, as we breathe, we're moving matter, we're moving water, we're twisting, we're compressing, we're stretching, we're breathing through. We are literally clearing space. It is so much more than a physical practice, and there's so much more science behind it that I'm still learning. I can't even explain, but I think a lot of you know because you guys are super smart people. So we're gonna go ahead and start. This is going to be so much fun. We're going to start out in a seated position on our mat, so cross-legged. You can just come on, even if your knees can't sit like that, you can sit at the edge of your couch or in your chair, remembering that you can practice this from a chair the whole time as well. Okay, starting out in a seated position. And then closing your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, you can find a spot to focus on right in front of you. Seated in this cross-legged position, sitting up tall through the spine. You can place your palms on your knees here, grounding down. Think about shooting the energy from the root of your spine all the way to the core of the earth, connecting you to what's below, connecting you to the source below, connecting you to every element and the whole mycelial network of living beings beneath us. Connecting yourself to your homelands, to the place that you are at, whether you're in the city or out in the country, whether you are on your own homelands or somewhere new that you migrated to. Think about connecting to that space and think about the history of that space as you sit here, just knowing where you are, the awareness of your environment. And as you sit, connecting, relating, grounding, gently squeeze your pelvic floor, pulling up through your Mula Bandha, so you're locking in to give you stability. Now you're stable in your seat. Inhale up all the way up your spine, out the crown, and then exhale that energy back down into the ground. Continuing that flow of energy up and down. Roll the shoulders back and down, resting them. Rest the elbows. Sitting up tall in your seat. Thinking about arriving mind, body, spirit as we move through our practice, we not only pray into our own bodies, but we also pray into the environment around us, affecting every living being, affecting the soil, the water, the air. Letting go of all of the to-dos, all of those stresses, any guilt, shame, anger, fear. Just unpacking, arriving with an open heart and an open mind. Beginning to notice your body resting deeper and deeper into this seated position. Relaxing the shoulders again. Coming back to that breath. Breathing into the zigzag of the seated position through the legs. Noticing if they feel like they need to unwind. Maybe you need to take one leg out or both and point and flex through the toes. Breathe into it and then bring it back in. Think about letting go of anything that no longer serves you. Unpacking anything that doesn't belong to you, anything that's served its purpose, anything that is distorted or obsolete, habit forming. Just letting it go. Absorbing it into our sacred space, our yoga mat. Bring your hands to your heart space, setting your intention for the class ahead. Inhale, arms up. Exhale them back down, pull the fingertips back. Breathing into your wrists. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time, up. Exhale down. Let's go ahead and switch the feet out. So however you had your feet stacked, or one in front of the other, go ahead and switch that out. Right hand down, left arm reaches over. A little side body stretch here. Don't hold your breath. And if this hurts your shoulder, you can change up the positioning of your arms so that it doesn't pinch any parts of. So if it doesn't feel right, change up the positioning. Let's take it to the other side. If you have blocks, you can always use them to elevate the ground. Coming up, twist right. Left hand rests to the right knee as you sit up tall and twist over your right. Breathing fluidly through the center core. Detoxifying the body as we squeeze our internal organs. Good. Right arm is going to cross over, landing on the left knee. And we're going to spread the shoulder blades apart as we round through the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. So we're balancing it out. Right hand rests to the left knee. Sit up tall, twist. Breathing fluidly through the stomach, through the spine, through the back. Left arm crosses over, same thing. Pull the shoulder blades apart, round through the spine, chin to chest. And then inhale, arms up. Good. Hands come in front of you, gently walking them forward as far as feels necessary. Breathing into the back and the hips. Coming back up to center, let's extend the right leg out, point and flex through that ankle. And then we're just going to forward fold over that leg as far as we can go. Some of you may be able to grab your foot and come all the way down. Others may just have their hands right here. And just leaning forward from the hips as far as feels necessary where you feel that good stretch. Good, now let's switch this out so left leg extends and then the right leg comes in. Just warming up the muscles, stretching them out. We're gonna fold over that left leg. You're gonna really feel a good stretch here in your right hip and your low back as well. So keep that right knee pressed down as you fold over the left leg. Coming back up the center, soles of the feet kiss. Good, and then bring them in closer towards the body, a little flutter. Sit up tall, broaden the shoulders, grab the ankles of the feet, and gently lean forward, hinging from the hips, not the upper back. Broaden the shoulders, press the elbows into the insides of those knees. Good, we're gonna make our way into our tabletop position, so come to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, finding your first downward facing dog. Bend your knees left or right. Good, start walking your feet to the front of the mat. Feet are gonna be a little bit wider than hip distance apart, rolling up. We're going to move into our first dance song. All right. So we're just going to start by lifting our feet one at a time. And it's up to you how low you want to get through your practice. Sometimes I might have you really low. If that doesn't feel right, then you can keep your heart high. All right, we're going to bring our right foot in front of the left. Let's go, releve. And then you're gonna do this shrug. Bring your elbows back, men's traditional. So some of you might be up high. Some of you might be really low. I want you to releve through the ankles there, lifting your heels high. Elbows are open, wide, pulled back. Gonna come up, heels, heels, heels.
Say what? Dirty South. Here we go. Can y'all really feel me, baby girl? East Coast feel me.
Out.
Can you feel
Out.
me? Dirty South. Dirty.
Out.
Can y'all really feel me? East Coast feel me. Say what? West Coast feel me. Dirty South. Dirty. Can y'all really?
All right, left foot in front, right foot back. Let's go, releve. Woo! Really getting that heel up. Woo! Bring it up with your knees. Knees. Keep going. I'm just going to turn my speaker up a little bit. Woo, woo. Hold right here. Right foot just taps. Little twist with the leg. Then switch. Then switch, but heel, 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 then switch. I usually go 4 counts. Now left or right. Get low. Circle the shoulders in, figurating them. Woo. Now bring it up. Men's southern straight. Lean back. Shift the heel out. Woo. 3, 2, find the front of your mat, forward fold. Remember, you can have your blocks or a stool in front of you. Step back into your high plank. Option to lower the knees. Step, step, step. Shoulders are stacked over wrists, fingertips are spread wide, palms are pressed. If you've got the knees down, just do a little crunch, knee into chest, squeeze the core. Just a little men's traditional dance from plank positioning. Woo! 3, 2, 1, downward facing. Walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Right foot's gonna step forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. And as that right foot steps forward, your left shield is gonna come in front, setting up that shield, that protection energy. Everything that we do within our body can relate to our life. So as we move through our practice and we find strength, we find that energy, we shield ourselves. Imagine that shield on your left wrist as you set up this protective energy. So now anytime any negative energy comes at you, you've got this shield. Boom. Boom. Good. Let's switch it out. Left foot forward, back, forward, back, balancing it out. Get low if you want to. Otherwise, you can just make it a step. Woo, woo. Strong body, strong mind, strong core. Keep your chest lifted. Nothing is loose, nothing is sloppy. Woo. Right arm sets up that shield. Boom. Always got your protective energy set up. And then we're gonna leave it there from now on. So now whenever anything comes towards you, you've got it set up. We do a lot of repetitive steps in Powwow Yoga because we want to get those steps into our muscle memory. We want to remember, we want our body to remember, we want our body to respond. But if we only do it a couple times and head out, how will our body ever catch on to that repetition, to that beat, to that prayer? Shake it out. Woo! I can't see you guys, but I can feel you guys. Yeah. All right, let's come to our hands and knees. Coming into cat-cow, go, spinal energy. We're gonna breathe through our spine as we inhale, tuck and squeeze the core. Exhale, lower chest, arch back, looking up. Cat. Cow. Inhaling as we tuck. Squeeze. And then exhale as you release. So as we tuck and squeeze, we give our internal organs a little hug, moving matter, moving water, moving space. And then as we arch through, we can improve digestion. We move into our back. It's so important to go all the way around our spine, left to right, front to back, top to bottom. Good, hold right here. Right leg is going to extend. Point the foot, little pulse. So keep your shoulders right above the wrist. Try not to lean over too far to find that balance. Keep it centered. 3, 2, hold. Option to keep both hands down or reach the left arm out. Counterlateral movement, knee to elbow. You can modify this by keeping both hands down and just using your knee. You could be in a standing position with your hands on a chair. Take your modifications as you need them. You could be going fast here to every beat. Find what works for you. Good, let's find center. Bring the knees together, shift back. Inhale, arms up. Good, exhale, cactus the arms, press the chest forward, elbows back. Wrapping the arms around the shoulders, walk the fingers back. Good, giving yourself a big hug, spreading the shoulder blades apart. Start figure eighting the shoulders, feel a stretch in your back, and feel the grinding in your obliques and core. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms down, find your quad pad. Left leg extends. Point the toe. Fingertips are spread, palms are pressed, shoulders are right over wrists. Little pulse when the beat starts. Yellow tinted lenses in a pink gelato. Falling out the window, hit me back tomorrow. Hold, option to keep both hands down, or you can reach the right arm forward. Counterlateral movement, bringing the knee to elbow. Encouraging opposite sides of the body to work together. Coordinating the awareness around the movement. Woo! 3, 2, 1. Good. Palms down, toes tucked, downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance apart. Palms are shoulder distance apart. It's okay to have your knees bent. Press your hips away from your shoulders so you get a good back stretch. If it feels okay, you can start straightening the legs out, pressing the heels towards the ground. Good. Strong arms, strong wrists, strong shoulders, holding the body up. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step that right foot to replace the right hand. Lower the left knee. Inhale, arms up. Good. Fingertips are going to frame the right knee, coming to the ground or your block as you shift the hip back. And then point and flex through that right ankle. Option to move in and out of that lunge and back to that runner stretch. Coming into the lunge. Right arm reaches up. Good, circle it back. Option to reach back for the foot. It's just an option. If you can't grab the foot or it's just not a preference for you, you can just open up through the arm or bring the hand back behind the sacrum and open through the shoulder. Coming back to center, find your quad pad, downward facing. Yee. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Really get it up there, and then step up to replace the left hand as you lower the right knee into low lunge. Good. Inhale, arms up. Good. Exhale, fingertips are going to frame the knee as you shift the hip back and point and flex through that left ankle. Go ahead and move front to back, breathing into the hips and the legs, the low back. Holding here into the lunge, left arm opens up and then circles back. With the option to grab the foot behind you or just open up a little further through the arm. Gently releasing. Tuck the right toe behind you, lift the knee, and shift forward into a standing position. All right, we're gonna keep our body engaged as we start dancing. We're just going to use our arms like this. So whether you want to feel like you're dancing grass dance or women's fancy dance, that's where we're going to go. We might even do a little bit of jingle dancing too. If you're, whatever you're male or female, feel free to join through all the different styles. It's important for us to target the different muscle groups, but if it just doesn't feel right for you, you can dance your style to that song. All right, step. We're just starting with the basic step. So tapping the foot in front of you. In powwow dancing, we never kick the foot forward. We don't dance like this where we kick our foot back and forward. We might do that for a move, but the basic step is not that. It's you lift your leg in front of you and tap it. You lift the knee and tap a foot. Right there. Because what happens when some people start dancing, they make this basic step look like this. So I want you to focus on working the engagement of your ankles, your arches, and your calves, working together to create this 1-2, 1-2 step. Good. Arms can come out like a grass dancer, or you can fancy dance, holding your shawl. So we're doing a basic step. So what I want you to do is learn how to cover ground with a basic step. So as you dance this basic step, just start moving to the right. And then start moving to the left. You're just doing that basic 1-2, 1-2. Good, now start moving back. And then forward. Good, now just circle in a basic step. And then the other way. So just learning how to start covering ground and move around with a certain basic step, because sometimes you try to start moving and the step changes. So it's important to learn the 1-2, 1-2 and how to move in all directions in that step. Good, let's start, Chris, crossing. So it's an open and cross. Good, now kick, kick. Let's come to the front of our mat. All right, we're gonna crisscross back 4 times and then kick forward 4 times. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. And if covering ground feels a little unsafe for you, then stay in one spot. If you're dancing from a chair, then just keep moving through the legs, using your arms. So the basic steps, repetitive movement, getting it into our muscle memory. All right, let's come to center. Feet together, twist, twist. It's a hesitation, so you twist one way, it's a little stop. Now we'll speed it up, a little twist here without that hesitation. Now hesitate twice. So 1, 2, switch, 1, 2. You got it. Woo! Kick, 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 move around. Do a double kick where you kick it twice before you switch. All right, grass dancer. Yee! Kick it out all the way around in a circle. Light on the feet. Take it left. Good. Feet are wide. We're gonna do this move. It's gonna go Chris, uncross, Chris, twist. Chris, uncross, Chris, twist. Let's go. Chris, uncross, Chris, twist. Chris, uncross, Chris, twist. Ah! Tap, 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 tap. Woo! Let's go. Right ankle in. Switch. Good. Now put a bounce into it. The song's almost done. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Get a drink of water. Walk around, shake it out. Whatever you need to do.
Ghosts circle my room.
Okay, we're gonna start flowing the body. First, let's bring our feet a little bit wider than our hips. Reach the left arm overhead, right hand grabs the wrist. We're gonna bring it into a side stretch. Really breathing, grounding down through the feet. And then switch it out. Now come to center, let's bring our feet even wider. And then we're gonna come into a forward fold. You can either bring your hands to a chair, blocks, or the ground. Folding as far as you'd like or feels necessary or right for you at this time. You can sway left or right. You can grab your elbows. Woo. both hands are gonna come towards the right ankle, whether you're grabbing the ankle or just resting your fingertips in front of the toe. And then switching it out. Woo. Good, coming to center, heels turn in, toes out, knees bend, coming up. We're gonna come into a goddess, which is a wide sumo squat. And then we're just gonna take a little pulse here. If it doesn't feel right for you, you're welcome to stay static and just hold the pose. We're gonna reach our arms up. Keep going, I don't know what happened here. Hold here. We're gonna extend our arms out to the side and pull our fingers back, breathing into our wrists. Spread the fingers apart and really, really flex them back. So we're stretching through our wrists. We're stretching through our texting thumbs and our typing fingers. Stretch through that area. Good, sink a little lower. Then we're gonna go left to right. Woo! Feel that heat building in the legs. Keep pressing out through each palm, pulling the fingertips back. Speed it up. Feel the oblique crunch in the side. Woo! Now start figure eighting through the arms. Good, inhale, arms up. Step to the front of your mat. Arms reach up high. Exhale into your chair. Good, inhale. Right leg comes up as the hands come to heart. Right foot steps back, high lunge. Inhale, arms up. Feet are standing on 2 train tracks. Open that right arm up and turn the right heel in. Warrior 2. Arms reach wide, palms down, looking over the left hand. Reverse, right arm back, left arm up. Good, left elbow to the left knee, right arm reaches over. You're welcome to bring the arm inside the leg too. Reverse. Good, coming to center. And then we're gonna straighten out that front leg, pull the toes up. Hands to heart, right knee bends as you lower the hips into Skandasana. Press back up, Warrior 2. Skandasana. Warrior 2. One more time, and you can use your hands if you need to. Warrior 2. Woo! Left toe comes in, forward fold. Lifting your chest halfway here. We're gonna turn back to the front of the mat as you turn your toes forward. Step that right foot to the front of the mat. Oh yeah, we do have another. All right, coming into a standing, inhale your arms up. Exhale your hips into your chair pose. Good, squeeze, squeeze. Now inhale, left leg lifts, come to a standing on one leg, hands to heart. Find your balance. Left foot steps back into high lunge as you reach your arms up high. Feet are standing on 2 train tracks. We're gonna transition into Warrior 2. Left arm opens, left heel turns in, and then reverse. Bring the right arm back down. Okay, no worries. Thank you so much for joining. Warrior 2, reverse. Right elbow, right knee, left arm overhead, side angle. Go ahead and reverse again. Left arm back, right arm up. Back to center here. We're gonna straighten that front leg and peel the toe off the mat. Bending through the back knee, the left knee, and lowering the hips, Skandasana. Come back up into Warrior Two. Remembering if you need to hold on to something or make your transitions modified in any way. Maybe you're completely just avoiding the transitions, and that's okay too. Good, right here. Turn the right toe in. We're gonna find a wide straddle again. This time I want you to feel free to side lunge left to right. Pressing your palms to the ground underneath your shoulders. Pressing the weight into your palms. As you lunge left to right, stretching the inner parts of your legs. Go ahead and keep stretching as I'm just gonna check in really quick. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Turn your toes forward. Step back into your high plank. Good. Option to lower the knees. Good. Shoulders are over wrists. We're going to bend the elbows and keep them along the body, not outward. So lower, slow and controlled, even if you have your knees down. All the way down. Shift the hips left to right. Bring your chin to the mat and rest. Woo! Inhale, lift your heart, cobra. Roll the shoulders down the back, trying not to press them up into the neck. Good. Now we're going to roll down, leading with the heart. And then inhale up. Keep the elbows in. Cobra rolls. Using those triceps, and forearms and fingers. Noticing all the digits in your wrists from your fingers up, working. Good, now we're gonna press up, knees wide, big toes touch, child pose, breathe. Lowering your heart into the mat. Go ahead and move left to right through the hips. Oxygenating that area, breathing into the glutes, the low back, the knees, the ankles. We got one more dance song. Take it as you feel. You can freestyle if you'd like, or you can follow the steps. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing. Bend the knees left to right. Okay, start walking to the front of the mat. Inhale up. So we've got our last song, Neon Natives. We've got our contemporary powwow beats. Okay, let's just start bouncing. Think about shaking, releasing in your shoulders, so let the arms, shoulders be loose for this one. Just think about shaking it out. Flick the fingers. Think about getting rid of anything that doesn't belong to you. And then just start kind of dusting yourself off. Dust off your legs, dust off your low legs, the back, chest, arms, getting rid of anything that does not belong to you. Let it go. You hold on to so much in your hair, just let it go. Shake it off. Kick it off your feet. All right, let's go. Jack. Right side only. Left side. Left to right. Hands to hips. Keep going with the footwork. Woo! Let's shuffle. Woo! Light on the feet. Heels are high. Strong ankles but buoyant. Shuffle and start moving around. If you're a guy and you don't want to have your hands on your hips, you could be doing a grass dance shuffle. Woo! Twist, twist. Twist to the right 2 times, then left. Hold right here, right foot, heel, toe. Woo, hands to hips. Switch it out. Option to add a bounce. So bounce, right foot, heel, toe. Then switch. Now just 2 times each side. Heel, toe. 2 times each foot. Now just once, you shift the heel out, pull the toe back. Shift the heel out, pull the toe back. So it's just like that. Woo! Should kick the heels out. Right foot goes forward, back, forward, back. Then we're gonna switch it out, left foot, forward, back, and this could just be a step. You need to modify, you need to slow it down. Feel that heart beating in your chest, feel your lungs working. Noticing that sweat coming out of your body. We all know that water carries memories. Imagine some of the bad memories that are leaving your body, the ones that don't need to stay, because we always keep the good ones. But your body knows what to do. Your body already knows what to do. That's why when it sweats, when it cries, it's releasing toxins, it's releasing negative energy. Good, shuffle. Strong feet, strong arches, strong mind, strong core. Good, 1, 2, 1, 2, just a basic step. Move your arms. Now cross the leg over. Yay! You got this, even if you're just stepping, even if you're sitting in a chair, you got it. Arms up. Good, now kick, kick, switch, kick, kick, just the 2 times. Good, now we're gonna go back, 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 then forward. Yay! Come to the front, releve. Woo. Right foot's gonna go out, 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 switch. Switch. Elbows out. Now we're gonna go forward, side, back. Switch. Find the beat, make it your own. Let's go. Forward, 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 back. Even if they're just steps. Notice how you have to find your balance when you slow it down. Let's go. Woo! Good. Let's come to a step, step, step. Shake the wrists out. Woo! Feel that heart beating in your chest. Tap your heart. Keep the step, but tap the heart. Tap the belly. Good. Little smudge here. Picking it up all the way from the ground. Sink into it. Use your muscles in your body to reach down and pull it up. We don't always need to burn smudge, to burn those biological medicines in order to receive those blessings. That energy, that medicine. is always with us. Those medicines are there to help, but it's our mind that creates the reality of the healing. We have to believe it, you guys. So just keep smudging. Use your glute muscles and your core muscles as you come down and come back up. Feel the wind as it brushes past the sweat on your body. Just completely tapping in to the presence of this moment, how we feel in our body, the response from the practice that our body is giving off, the sweat, the tingly sensations, the tears, the breath, the heartbeat, the sometimes feel like giving up, the laughing, the emotion of it all, the resistance that we're meeting that wants us to stop, that wants to quit. Just keep moving, keep smudging yourself. Little squat energy, a squat smudge. Good, now we're gonna just shake the legs out. But we're gonna come into a squat position. So toes are gonna be turned out 45 degrees. Feet are a little bit wider than the hips. Knees turned out, start sinking down. This is the old gathering position. Being able to squat down was a form of being one of the most healthy ways that you could be, because that's how you were when you were dealing with the water. That's how you were when you were digging the roots. That's how you were when you were taking care of the things. They did everything on the ground. Come up for a moment. Breathe into your back. Breathe into your legs. Notice all the parts that feel it the most, and then breathe into them. We're going to come back down. If you need to put a block underneath your hips, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I want you to rely on the strength. So if you're really flexible and can just come down like this, I don't want you to do that. I want you to lift a little bit. All right, now there's water all beneath us, so just move the water around on your mat. Woo! Now scoop it up. And bring it up. Again. Splashing into that water, bringing it over you, embodying that inner child. Noticing the resistance you're working through as you squat down and come back up. Building muscle, building strength, building awareness in your hips and your legs, in your glutes and your back. Coming back down into it. Good. Now hold your baby. Hold your baby, whether it's your child, your unborn child, your goals, your dreams, and bathe it. Moving with intention. Now cradle it left or right. Squeeze your obliques. Yay! Come up. Knees come up. You're still holding that baby, that child, those dreams, those goals. Those visions. All right, squat down, placing it down on its resting space. Coming back up, moving to the back of your mat, coming into our squat, scooping up that water. Good, now your right foot is gonna step 4 times. Squat to your left and pour that water out for your neighbors. Good, come back to center. 4 steps back to center. Coming down for more water. Halfway up, left foot. 4, 3, 2, turning to your opposite side. Squat down, share the water with your neighbors. Good, back to center. 4, 3, 2, oh my God, the burn. Good, now bring the water into your heart. Now scoop up, fill your cup. Come to a stand. You're going to have your pinky and your thumb touching and open up the middle fingers. Come to the front of your mat. Shake the legs out. Just kind of point and flex through the ankles for a moment. You're holding your water near your heart. We're going to do some balancing stuff with our water. So holding here, feet are hip distance apart. Let me face you. We're going to start lifting that right leg. Even if you need to hold on to something. And I want you to flex the right toe as it's in the air. Gently place the water on the knee. Open the arms. Grab your water. Step that foot around you, behind you to the left. So a little curtsy here. Right knee comes down to a hover. If you feel like lowering it all the way down, that's okay. Back up to center. Left knee lifts. Place your water to rest it, balancing on your knee for a moment. Open your arms. Gently, carefully, grab your water, step that left foot, swing it around behind you to the right side, and then curtsy that left knee down to a hover. It's okay if you bring it all the way down to rest for a moment, and then come back to center. Inhale your water up, raising it up to honor it, and then pouring it over your head. And then bring your fingertips down to resemble the water and glide them all the way down. Proprioception, who, what, when, where, and why. Knowing who you are, where you are, when you are in time or space. Feel that sensation of your hands in the water gliding down all the way off the feet. Good. Inhale, arms up. Want you to come together. Exhale, fold. Want you to come together. Inhale, halfway lift. Squeeze the core, flat back, look ahead. Good. Palms plant. Step into your quadruped. Want you to come together. Cat cow, Durga go. Round and release. Inhale, tuck and squeeze the core. Exhale. Squeeze the back. Want you to come together. 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 Okay, from here, we're going to step the right hand out and extend the left leg. Let me get a little closer. And then if you need to use a block to elevate the ground, you can bring it under your hand. Okay, left arm reaches over. We're going to sweep around the front. If you need to use your hands to get there, that's okay. And then we're going to raise our right arm up. Left hand is gently lengthening down the left side of the leg. And then we're going to float back down. Landing lightly, not hard. Left arm reaches. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Sweep around again. Lift. Float. One more time. Sweep. Lift. Float. Holding here in this stretch, or you can reach that left hand back for the left foot and press it up and away from the body. So you have options, whether you're just staying in that deep side stretch or you're reaching back for the bind. Think about that contact, hand to foot, this space, this window that you're creating above you, this shape, and what that signifies to you. Extend that left leg back down. And we're going to come back to center. Knees and ankles together. Inhale up. Good. Exhale, hands to heart. Switch it out. Left hand down. Right leg extends. Gate. Right arm is going to reach overhead. We're going to sweep around. Remember, you can use your hands to guide you for support. Left arm lifts. Stretching over that right side. Float, landing lightly. Sweep around. Lift. Float. One more time. Take your time. Option to stay right here in this stretch, or you can reach back for the right foot with your right hand Pressing it up and away from the body, stretching through the right shoulder, right hip. Grounding down through the left knee, left hand. Good, let's come back into a quad head. Tuck your toes, downward facing. Lift the right leg, option to bend the knee and open the hip. Squaring it back up, we're gonna bring our right knee in. Now we're gonna turn the ankle in and bring our knee and ankle up. Lowering our hips down into a pigeon. I feel like I can't see me very good. Want you to come together. These blocks come in handy if your hips really aren't ready to go there yet. You can bring that under the front hip to start working towards your pigeon if it's not available for you yet. So you could also have the knee bent here and just focus on trying a little bit, little by little, press the left hip down. Otherwise, folding over the right leg into our pigeon pose, breathing into our right hip and our low back, gently engaging the ankle to protect that front knee. If a mermaid pose is a part of your practice, you're welcome to move into that bind now. Any other stretch in this position, whatever feels right for you. But just keep breathing, trying not to hold your breath in any parts. Palms are going to press below the shoulders, and you're going to start pulling your left knee in and then lifting the hips, coming back into that quad pad as we gently transition back into downward facing. Inhale, left leg raises up with the exhale, bent knee, opening the hip. Remembering that you could use a wall for your downward dogs. Squaring that hip back up, bringing that knee in towards a plank position, and then turning the ankle inward, lying the hips down, and walking that back leg back into a pigeon. You want to gently flex that front ankle to protect the knee because it's a deep hip opener. Wherever you're at, whether you are in a full expression of the pose or taking modifications or using supports, breathe into it. Relaxing the mind around the struggle. Make sure that you're keeping fluid breath and trying not to hold it in any parts. You can lower your chest down. You can bring blocks beneath your chest, blocks beneath your hips, blocks beneath your head. Blocks are really, really useful and help you to feel supported in your practice. Blocks and props are not for beginners. Blocks and props are for anybody, and especially also advanced practitioners who want to progress their practice. They help us to feel supported, and it's important for us to utilize our supports and our resources, whether it be on the mat or out in our lives. If a mermaid is a part of your practice, feel free to move into that now. That would be where you grab that back foot with that right arm and either just come here or here. So if you feel like moving into that, if that's something that is tangible for you, then go ahead and move into that now. Otherwise, do whatever feels right in this position. Keep breathing into that left hip, creating space, releasing blockages, releasing the tension, releasing all of that tension that we just built up from our dancing, but also the tension that's been underlying, the tension that's been creating stiffness, the tension that has been holding on to anything negative and hindering us from growth. As we breathe into these tight parts, we want to think about removing blockages, deleting karma, collapsing karma, deleting contracts, anything that's obsolete or distorted or habit forming or disease forming. We ask for it to leave our body and our space at this time. Go ahead and sweep that right leg around the front. We're going to extend both of our legs in front of us and shake them out. And then we're going to gently come onto our back. However you want to do it. You might come down like this, or you might want to challenge your core by coming down really slow. It's up to you. You always have choices. Bring the right knee into your chest and gently windshield wipe it left to right. Breathing into that right hip. And then the left hand is going to grab that knee as the right arm opens up to the side. And then that left hand will bring the right knee across the body, not all the way, but just enough to lift this right hip off the ground. And you really want to feel that stretch all up and down that IT band, through your side body, through your low back, through your glutes, extending through the right arm as you look, turn your head to look towards that right hand, and then reaching through those fingertips so you're stretching through the right arm just as much as you're stretching through the twist. If it feels okay, you can extend that leg as it's hovered above here, getting a deeper stretch. Coming back to center, hug your knee into your chest and wrap your hands around the back of your hamstring. Pull your knee in tightly and then extend your leg little by little, even if it's just during your exhale. Some of you might be here where you just want to keep the knee pulled in. That's okay. And then some of you might want to grab the foot and completely come into a straight leg, lying split. Wherever you're at, just breathe into it. Become aware of all of the sensations that you feel in your body. Think about breathing into those areas. Good. Extend that leg up and down, all the way down as you point through the toe and lower it slowly. Good. Inhale your arms up. Point the toes, morning stretch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left knee comes into the chest. Hug it in. Windshield wipe it left to right. Loosening up that left hip. Right hand grabs the left kneecap. Left arm extends out to the side. Right hand is going to pull that left knee across the body as you turn to look at the left hand. Breathing up and down that stretch. If it feels okay, you can straighten the leg and then bend it again. And then coming back, bring that knee into your chest, wrap your hands around the back of the hamstring. And here you can straighten your leg out as much as feels right for you. Or maybe you're grabbing the foot and coming into a lying split. Any other stretches that you feel necessary? Maybe you do, maybe back bends or handstands are part of your practice, or the splits, or some type of deeper stretch or balance that we did not do. And if you feel like using this time to do that, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we're going to lay our leg down, pointing the toe and lowering it slow and controlled as we rest into our final Savasana. Feet fall open to the side, body aligns back into the mat, and you are going to rest your arms out to the sides or down along the body, palms facing up to receive. Closing your eyes, allowing the breath to move through the body, noticing how the belly rises and falls with the breath. Winding down, coming back down into our parasympathetic rest and digest, allowing our body to recover, to repair. Accessing the orienting response to counter anxiety, calming down the nervous system. Remember to breathe consciously into your body. Removing carbon dioxide, regulating the pH of the tissues. Think about scanning the body front to back with your breath, side to side, inside to outside. Every inhale brings in positive light energy. Every exhale releases dark, heavy energy, creating space, lightening the load, creating space for more growth, for more opportunity, for more information. When we get bombarded with negative information, it's hard for us to absorb the positive. So as we lay and breathe and relax and we melt into the space beneath us, we can use this time to pray into the ground, to pray into the environment around us, praying for peace around the world, praying for the end of conflict, praying for agreements of sustainability and love and care, praying for all of those in harm's way, praying for those that are incarcerated, thinking about praying for those. And as we danced tonight, dancing for those who are walking the streets, who are lost, praying for those who are in wheelchairs, those who have lost their ability to move freely, praying for our grandmothers and grandfathers and aunties and uncles and mothers and fathers, praying for our next generations, praying for our relatives, praying for our enemies, praying for those who we've had conflict with. When we dance, we pray. And when we flow, we pray, because our movement practice, it's a meditation in motion. As we think about all of those things, just knowing the impact of what showing up today had on all of us and on all of those who are part of each of our lives, the ripple effect that these experiences have on ourselves, our lives, and those around us and those in the future. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a ripple effect. You're welcome to stay lying in your Savasana as long as you'd like. Otherwise, go ahead and follow as we close out class, beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing awareness back into your body. And then I want you to, whichever side is calling you, just go ahead and raise that arm and roll over onto that right side into fetal position. Coming into that very first positioning of this body, this body that we are in. And think about noticing how as you lean to the right side, everything on the left has had a space created now. All the blood and water and matter is resting to the right. So as we create space on our left side, take 3 full breaths in and out. And then when you're ready, gently and slowly coming back up to that seated position, whether you have one leg in front of the other, or if you're going to come into a half lotus, Take the left ankle into the right hip crease, bringing your Achilles heel to your root chakra. Right where we started from, connecting to the source, all the way down, connecting to the elements, connecting to the mycelium, connecting to all the information from the dancing, to the holdings, to the balancing, to the stretching, to the breath, to the thought, to the sweat, everything that took place in this class, absorbing that information into our bodies and into our minds, bringing our hands to heart space. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining today. I really, really appreciate the trust that you have in order to join this class today. I'm honored and humbled by your presence, and I hope that you got what you needed. I hope that it was good for you. I hope that it was special for you, and I hope that it helped you tap back into your center and release what no longer served you. We're going to take our thumbs to our third eye, bowing our head in gratitude. Katsiayo haniwa imak is katsiayo. I said, thank you, Creator. Thank you so much. And I encourage each and every one of you to go ahead and close out class in your own way, in your own language, whatever feels right for you. Katsiayo, thank you so much for joining. Gently coming out of it, maybe resting longer. Take care of your body. Drink lots of water. Take care of your ankles and legs and feet. If dancing isn't super familiar for you, you're going to be really sore. And oftentimes we get more sore on the second day after. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm going to go ahead and log off now. And I can't hear you because of the way I have all of my equipment hooked up, so I can't. If you want to say something, you can type it into the chat here. Feel free to reach out to me anytime through social medias. Also, my website for 7gen is almost ready, and I also have weekly classes if anybody wants to join. Tonight is HIIT. So Powwow Yoga and HIIT class in one day. I'm like, woo! All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. I hope you have a nice day. Yes, I am Acacia. I'll type it in here. On Instagram, I am... Oh, that went to Katie. Whoops. Okay, there we go. It's just Acacia _ on Instagram. There's also a 7gen, so I think it goes like this. 7gen Wellness and also Powwow Yoga. Powwow Yoga, the practice. So those three on Instagram. Sorry, I just went blank. I always post all of my classes on 7gen and Powwow Yoga. And also it's so much to like keep all of these. I need to get rid of one of these. Thank you, Katie. You can also find 7gen on Facebook. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you so much. I hope you loved it. That was a really, really great class. Okay. Have a nice day, everybody.